Let's go back to what they're now releasing, because there's there's the text messages 1.0 and text messages 2.0. And so let's go to this. When Lance Twiggs shared the text messages from the original plan on what was essentially also the evening of the 11th, 1 a.m., September 12th, is basically the night of the 11th, the conspirators hadn't yet had time to react to Tyler going off the script. All Lance had at that moment was version 1.0, where he was going to get himself killed. So that's what he shared, and that's what made it into the FBI file, and that's what's been newly released. By September 16th, the conspirators had had time to react, and they forged new false messages of Tyler saying he was going to turn himself in, because that's what Tyler ended up doing. Again, these were version 2.0, but the text that Lance Twiggs shared the night Tyler turned himself in reflected the original plan, version 1.0. Tyler was going to meet the cops and go out on his own terms. Remember, he didn't want to be drugged through the courts, but you don't turn yourself in if you don't want to be drugged through the courts. So they had planned to mow Tyler down, release version 1.0, fake text messages of Tyler saying he was going to go out on his own terms and wrap everything up in a nice little bow. What's that they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? Tell me if I'm reading this wrong. So here it is, September 16th indictment text left version 2.0, newly released text messages from the early morning of September 12th below. So here it is. So here's what they're going with. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here at a deputy for the sheriff. But here's what the original... Tyler, not yet, but I have no doubts that they will be on me within the hour, and I will give my location up and going out on my own terms. I have no intention of being drugged through the courts in front of the country. Can I come see you? After that, I can call my dad and see if he's willing to help me or not. So let's go a little bit farther. We're supposed to believe that in the same message conversations between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs, the following contradictions happened. Tyler worries about retrieving the gun because he doesn't want to leave any evidence behind, but then he had already planted a note and now sends a bunch of messages leaving a ton of evidence behind. He then says he's sorry to involve Lance Twiggs, but then he involves Lance Twiggs. He says he's sorry about being the one that killed Charlie and assertively explains that he needed to kill Charlie to stamp out hate. He says he wanted to take the secret to his grave, but then he confesses to the crime to all his Discord buddies, then says he's going to willingly turn himself in. He says he wanted to live to old age, then he decides to go out on his own terms with the cops now. He says he doesn't want to face a court system, but then he willingly turns himself in to face the court system. These are all the contradictions in one text message. And after that wild conversation full of nothing but immediate contradictions, he confessed to his parents, retired detective friend, and LDS bishop, and posted his confession to Discord right before turning himself in, and then he refused to confess to the cops. Right? So he confessed to his parents, he confessed to his Discord, but then when he eventually does turn himself in, he doesn't confess. Did I miss any other contradictions? Yes, you did. And if that's still not enough, the prosecutor's written argument opposing the defense's motion for delay continuance of the preliminary hearing says this, get this. The state does not intend to offer evidence obtained through forensic extractions of electronics seized in this case, meaning that all those messages that are being publicly released aren't even going to be used in the prosecution. What the F? What do you say to all that, Lionel?
Well, what